The past week set all-time heat records around the world and temperatures in California reached well over 100 degrees in many areas. In this episode, we look at the aftermath of the heat wave and how you can protect your plants in extreme heat conditions. Some of the inland temperatures reached 217 degrees, and you can see here a comment from our YouTube viewer Big Pappy, who hasn't experienced this kind of temperature since 1984. So it's quite alarming. Let's look at what was affected in the heat wave, beginning with avocados. The avocado plant's leaves, the new leaves especially, were completely burned by the heat. You can see here, this time the avocado plant actually sends out new growth, and the 100 plus degrees heat was especially brutal. You can see the gem avocado plant that has completely burned leaves right here, and the container avocado plant also had some leaves that was damaged. And although the plant will send out new leaves, the damage to the avocado trees were the most visible, as you can see here. Taro plant is actually a tropical plant and could not tolerate the 100 plus degree heat. And you can see here the taro root leaves are completely burned due to the heat despite deep watering. The banana plant is another tropical plant that was affected. The leaves got severely burned, especially the new leaves, and it found it really difficult to withstand these high temperatures. The jasmine plant in the container was also completely burned out. The vegetables like cilantro, which do not grow well in the heat, you can see here they've completely yellowed out. The radish seedlings as well, although I was able to protect the radish seedlings a little bit by watering them more. And you can see the citrus trees were also affected. Almost all the citrus plants were affected this time. The Washington navel orange tree, you can see here, the leaves have completely dried, leaving the oranges exposed. And this heat was really brutal. Citrus trees and other tropical trees, subtropical trees, they're not used to this kind of heat. And when the sun blazed down for 2 days with over 100 degrees temperature, the leaves were burned out, as you can see here. Now let's look at some techniques to protect your garden during a heat wave. The first thing is to water your plants a little bit more than usual. So 2 to 3 times a day is good enough. And set up a drip irrigation system if you haven't done already. It's just easy to run multiple cycles. Even if you're watering your raised beds, make sure all your emitters are working properly. They're emitting the right amount of water and that they've been running well. If you're using soaker hoses, make sure that your soaker hoses are not clogged and they're dripping water as expected. Now, mulching is a very important step as well in conserving the water that your plant can uptake. When you're mulching your plants, do not use the mulch that is dyed. You can see that the mulch here, which I'm showing you, has a dye on it and is not recommended for vegetable plants. This is the cheaper mulch that you will usually find on sale at most gardening centers, but it's not supposed to be used with vegetables. What you need to use is something called garden mulch, which is specifically formulated for fruits and vegetables. This kind of aged mulch, this is just tree bark that has been aged and does not contain any chemicals. It doesn't contain any residue or paint. And you can see here it's like very beautiful looking, almost fine grain mulch. And it also improves the water retention a lot. And all you do is take that mulch, the mulch that is formulated for the vegetables, and put them around the base of your plant. And this is especially true for containers. Containers get dry very quickly because of the water that evaporates from the surface, and they can hold only so much of water. So make sure that you're mulching your container plants very well. You can also use compost as a mulch by just layering it on top of your plants. And you can also use some dried leaves that are readily available in your garden for mulching your plants. Shade cloth can be used to protect your plants. This is a 40% shade cloth which blocks about 40% of sunlight, and I'll provide a link on Amazon for this product. Now, I don't use shade cloth because I have a bigger garden, and for me it would result in buying a lot of shade cloth, which is not really productive. I would be spending a lot of money. so I did not use the shade cloth for my garden. So whether you are in California or not, do let us know how the heat wave affected you. I know this heat wave was all around the world, so do put in a comment below with how it affected you and what did you do to protect your garden from the heat wave. We'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.